everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. The tutorial I have for you today is not really part of a series. I do these kind of things often, but I'm going to show you the card that I did yesterday. I'm going to do an alternate version of it. And part of the reason I like to do this is because I know when you watch things online, you're like, oh, I want to make that, but I don't have everything. And you don't have to have everything. You can make super easy switches, and then you can make it often remake the project with what you have or something very similar. So I am going to use a stamp set today out of the Saleabration catalog. This catalog starts January 5th and it will run for 2 months. The best part about this catalog is everything that is in it is free. And then in the back, there is also a really good offer to become a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator starting January 5th. So I will get my catalogs early next week and they'll start mailing out to you. If you need either of these and you don't have somebody sending you a catalog, message me. I'll be happy to send you one. But once everybody starts to have these, then I'll talk a little bit more about the offer. You can't get it till the 5th of January anyway, so we're not losing anything out by me not talking about it now. So this month, instead of having any online classes and instead of my traditional monthly thank you gifts, I've kind of switched things up. So I'm going to be having 3 free card classes. So this video is posted and these are the 3 cards that you can make. The video is already up so you can just follow along with the video, but I'm going to send you the supplies. And then in this particular class, you buy this Memories and More card pack. And that's where I've got all these pieces. You can go watch the full video. And then you add them. The next 2, it will be if you have the stamp sets, you add that. So if you don't have the Memories and More card pack and you get these supplies, that's kind of what I'm doing today, is I'm going to show you a version of that, but not with these cards. But this free card class, if you make a $50 purchase from me and you use the host code, it's all on my website, or if you're on YouTube, you can get to that link down underneath this video. Then I'll send you the supplies to make these 3 cards. So, and they're going to go out next week as well with the thank you gifts and your catalogs. So I'm going to wait till the catalogs are here and then kind of get those. So this first one, the rest of them, I'll try to all have them in the mail within 3 business days of getting them to you. But next week, maybe a day or 2 later, since I want to put your catalog with it, it'll make the package all the better. So for this one, this is the tutorial that I did yesterday. And with it, I used the Cottage Rose. So this is my card club for December. So with my card club, it is it's a subscription service through PayPal subscription. So you don't have to have a PayPal account. They just host it for me. And then you can pay with whatever form of payment you want. And once you set it up in there, then every month it just auto bills you. You can always take a pause, or you can cancel anytime if you feel like you've got overwhelmed with cards. How can that ever happen? I stamp almost every day. But this is the card that I did. So within Card Club, every month I choose a set. So I chose the Cottage Rose. I love the art, I love the sentiment, and I really love the dies. You don't have to have a die cut machine to do Card Club, because any dies that we use on the cards, like with this one, they'll get these already cut out. But these dies that are in this bundle are so pretty. And you can see they'll go with anything, as you'll see when I make today's card. So assuming that somebody doesn't care for this set, I don't know how you couldn't like this one, because this is beautiful. Or you feel like you have something similar, or that month you just don't want to buy the stamp set. Every month I give them at least one alternative. So I'm going to do today's alternate project. So in Card Club every month, almost every month, I'm going to say 9 times out of 10, you get a full spool of ribbon and a full package of embellishments. So this month they're getting the fine sparkle adhesive back gems, and then a packet of the Baker Twine Essentials. And then they can add the stamp set, and I pick up the tax and shipping. So it's just catalog cost to them. And then this particular month, because we're going to use the blends and we're going to use the natural tones, which I'm not using on today's card, I'm giving them those where I pick up the tax and shipping, and they get 25% off. And then most months they get a half a packet of cardstock. So this month, or Designer Series paper. Some months the paper is a little bit different. We've done note cards and envelopes with a box. We have done 3 packets of specialty paper, half a pack of those. So, but most of the time it's a package of Designer Series paper cut in half. So they get a half a packet of that. And then they get their 6 envelopes for their 6 projects. And then they get their supplies. So this is what's left from this one. Well, not actually. This is what's left from that one, because they get a quarter sheet of shimmer white cardstock, which is my favorite cardstock. And so I've already used that. So you can see they have the 2 die cuts. Those are from the Cottage Rose. I have extra Cajun here. So let's go with, this is the other half that I've used from that. And then I've got these. So that's what's left. And then they have their packet of cards. So you can still do the exact same background that I did. And you can see the gems are on here and the twine. But for this, I wanted to use a Saleabration set. Just to kind of give you a sneak peek. My catalog order, and I got a lot. I didn't get all of it. It's a giant catalog. There's no possible way I could get all of it. But it does come today. I'm trying to get this done quickly so I can clear my space off so I can show you all the fun new things I got. But this is the Beautifully Happy from Saleabration. Like I said, it's going to be a free set. It's so pretty. It stamps so pretty. So here's how I'm going to do it. So on this card, I'm going to lay this here just so you can kind of see the switches that I made. I used blends. So I went with this pattern. And you could easily, look, this matches. I mean, you could do the same exact thing and put it on top. But when I flipped it over, I really like black and white patterns. So I went with that. So here, obviously, the colors are going to be determined a little bit by what you have. So if you do one of my free card classes by mail or you get a VIP project, sometimes you have to at least intertwine the color that you got if you're doing an alternate. So I started with the Cajun. And my whole idea with this color scheme and the gems that we're using this month is I wanted to do kind of vintage 40s looking wallpaper, you know, those mix of colors, because I felt it kind of kept our flowers a little bit wintry. Not so bright spring that when you send somebody this card, you're like, oh, I wish it was spring. I think they would just get this and be like, oh, a happy birthday to me. So I wanted to kind of keep it seasonal. So I got out my Cajun blends. And then here are my gems. And these have sorbet and mint. So those will match my gems. So I just got those. I got lights and darks. I'm only going to use, I'm going to use the light sorbet, the dark mint, and then the light Cajun Craze. So this is going to go together. You're going to just, this card is so cute and it goes together so quickly. I'm just going to take my brush tip and I'm just going to draw a line. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to leave for Cajun and mint. Cajun mint. This was not hard to do when I was doing it by myself, but you know, as soon as I start talking Cajun mint, it doesn't matter if it's perfect. But this is a fun color combination, I think, too. And it's definitely floral, but it doesn't scream spring or summer. I think it's a nice winter. And look, you can do crooked and it doesn't matter. The lines on the paper are a little bit crooked already, so I counted that first time. I don't really have to count this time. And then let's pull our mint in. So it's just kind of a different way to use your blends. I love black and white papers because there's just so many things you can do with them. My goal in my card club is not only do we make cards, but I like for you to learn something every month. So this month we are working with the blends. That's why the background of this one, this is actually a natural tone. So I know they're kind of designed for skin tones, but I just used it as a really pretty kind of peachy, kind of tan. So here's our paper, and you can see what, it doesn't soak through too much this way because I did brush tip, but that's one of the techniques we're gonna use in Card Club is the soak through. So I have a half a sheet of my shimmer white, and just look how much fun the stamp set is. Seriously, I am going to pull out this. I didn't use it on my first card, but just to make sure that it stamps well. You know, it's always nice when you have the photopolymer to stamp on a foam pad. And these are in the back of the catalog. They're super inexpensive. Because when you look at our red rubber stamps, they have a cushion of foam. And photopolymer doesn't have that. It makes it a little bit less expensive for a stamp, but you do lose the foam. So this just kind of puts it back for you. So if you have a problem stamping with your photopolymer and you're like, sometimes it's always empty in the middle, you still want to give it a good push because this is a big one. Try adding a foam pad. You can use a mouse pad and stuff, but this is thicker. It just works better. Isn't that pretty? And then this one has some really fun sayings in it. I just went for a very happy birthday. There's also the part that goes at the top that says, and sending happy thoughts, but I left it off. I just thought for a very happy birthday fits okay. And I kind of lined it up. So my D and my H hit the stem. That way you can still read it, but there wasn't a big enough space on there for that. And then this is a 2-step stamp, so we'll just go with whatever this one is. I'm gonna, again, here's my colors. I wanted the green to be a little bit more stark on this than the mint, because wait till you see how pretty these are. The fill-ins, they've got that distinctive touch to them, and I didn't want my leaves to be too light. So here's my Cajun Craze. Again, pulling that cardstock in because that's what I started with. And so for you, if you get something and you don't have an option of what you're starting with, just work with it. I don't know that Cajun would have been my go-to on this card, except I forced myself. See how fun that is and how easy. Those are colored in. Done. I told you this card's going to be like lickety split. That's why I was able to get it done before my overnight order gets here. So you see they just line up. You just pull these 2 top flowers up and just add them. It's easier when I can put my head over the top of it, but I want you to be able to see. And that colors those in for you. And then let's get our old olive for the leaves. Mine are a little bit off center on this because it is easier if you put your head straight over the top, but it'll still look okay. So don't worry about it. Stamping is supposed to be fun and therapeutic, not stressful, right? Those were easier to line up. And see, these are light because they're distinctive. They've got that, like, just a bunch of dots that it's inking up. So now, remember, in Card Club, they're getting these fun die cuts, and they're already cut out from them. They're out of the brushed gold metallic. I'm going to pop all these pieces out. I'm going to take my seal and I am going to draw just a line all the way. I'm going to not do that on here. Don't do your seal on that because it can bend your paper. This is the time when you don't want it to move. So I'm just going to draw a rectangle of adhesive on there. And then I'm going to take my dies. The die cuts from the Cottage Rose, like I said, they're so pretty. And there's a big one in there. We won't be able to use it in Card Club because of the way that it cuts, but I am going to do a video soon that has that on it, so you can see how that works for those of you getting that, the bundle. I was thinking that was going to be hid under, so I didn't pop that out. So I'm just going to, at first I was going to lay this and just kind of make a little bouquet on top of this and tie it all around, but it covered up too much of my design, although this one with the poor stamping, it might have helped. So instead I just cut those apart so I'd have a few more. I'm just going to kind of tap them back there so you can see where it's grabbing in the adhesive. That's why I put that back there. But by cutting that big one apart, it just gave me a couple more over here. And now it's ready to just put on your card. And they can overhang a little bit because I cut my card make sure it's straight before I push down. Which when you use the regular seal, if that's in the wrong spot, it's easy to lift up. If you use the Seal Plus and you don't push down, normally you can still get it back up. So it's always best to just not press until you're sure it's right on there right. So here's my Cajun. And you'll see where those overhang. This one's a little bit much, so I can just kind of tilt that in and then add a little bit of glue right there. Make sure they're all on my card. Then for this, remember they're getting the full essentials pack of twine. On my first one, I used one of the ropey colors. There's kind of like 2 that are rope. This one, I'll try black. So just pull out a long string of it. It's twine. You get a ton. I don't want you to still have this twine left in 2 years. I want you to use it all. So use more than what you think you would. Be like, this is how much I would use. I would wrap it around once, then wrap it around twice because it does make a better impact. And you're not buying the twine, especially if you're in Card Club. They hear me say it all the time. We're not buying this to store it. We're buying it to use it. And when it's on a card, it makes your card prettier. It makes whoever gets it be like, oh, that's a beautiful card. They might not notice that you put 5 gems on it. And at first, I know it's hard to put more than a couple of things on all your projects. But it also makes you happier if in 3 years it's not still in your craft closet, right? Because then we feel like hoarders and not crafters. And we're in it to craft, not to hoard. So just tie a knot. and then trim these off. And it's also easier to tie if you give yourself plenty of ribbon. And in the long run, in 5 years, if that's not still in your cupboard, it was easier to tie the ribbon and get it to look the way you want. So don't try to put just the right amount of ribbon on there and then be frustrated because it took you 10 minutes to tie it. So I'm just going to separate that out. See how pretty that is? Super simple. I think I like the black better than the tan, but they both work. I'm running out of black on this one, and I didn't want to use it all up because I'm getting ready to do the other 2 projects. We do 3 projects every month, but they get the supplies. I mean, we do 3 projects. They get the supplies to do 2 of each. So that way they can do them 2 just as is, or they can do the alternates. And then they also, if they just turn back in their homework, if they just send me a picture, I'm going to move this over. Look how easy this is to fix this. Just squish it on the card. Done. So now it's all on there. But if they send me pictures of their finished projects in a text or an email, then they go into every month. Everybody that completes 3 of the cards, they don't have to do all 6, goes into a drawing, or not a drawing. I just lay all the packages out. I don't even know whose names they are. So some people could win every single month. And 5 or 6 people get embellishments or ribbon or some extra cards or something thrown in. So there's one of my sorbet ones. And then remember, I used the mint, the sorbet, but this color right here, again, I'm trying to save these for the other. It would work, the papaya, but I'm just going to go for the mint because that's why I put the mint blend on it, so they would match. And this one just needs 3. I'm not going to overdo the embellishments on this one. Here's one where I stamped it a little bit better because I put my head over the top. The leaves on this are perfect, and these are good up here. I just kind of offset those. Nobody's going to notice in a million years because the back is all crookedy, right? So that is how you take exactly what I send you. So they got the supplies to make this, and we turned it into that. And it was literally the exact same supplies, except I used more stamp pads on this and a different stamp set. But the base supplies, designer series paper, the quarter sheet, eighth a sheet, no, yeah, half of a quarter. Everything's exactly the same. So that is how you too can switch up something. So this is a case where you switch it up to kind of be a whole new thing. Sometimes you just, like I could do this and I could have just stamped that and cut it out and put it there, and you can make the exact same card. I hope you enjoy that. And if you're interested in joining my card club, then just look at the information below the video or join up on my email list, and I always have the information in there for that. Have a great one. Bye.